What's up, guys? Mr. Octagonal here from Octagonal Gaming. Now we're back with the Octagonal podcast here. We have a lot to talk about today, especially with the NFL offseason. So we're not going to be talking about the Seahawks yet. That'll be a little bit later in the video, but we're going to be starting with some of the other deals. So the first one is Aqib Talib going to the LA Rams for a 5th round pick. Him and Marcus Peters now in that secondary is going to be nuts. It's the Rams. They have some talented corners, but Tremaine Johnson's a free agent. He's going to get a big deal. I think Kayvon Webster, either Kayvon Webster or Nickel Roby-Coleman, one of them had like an Achilles injury. I'm not sure which one. And I think both of them are free agents too. So the Rams are going to let them all go. They're getting Peters and Talib. I think the Rams are making some great moves. Their secondary will be Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, Marcus Joyner, assuming they're bringing him back, which I don't think they're going to let him hit the open market, and John Johnson III. That is a stacked secondary. They could be, I don't know, the new Legion of Boom, then NFC West. But I think the big winners today are the Cleveland Browns. You don't get to say that a lot, but I think the Browns have made some great moves. So the first one they made was getting Jarvis Landry from the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins did franchise tag Jarvis Landry, but there were a lot of rumors of him going to maybe the Bears or the Ravens. As a Lions fan, I'm happy he did not go to the Bears. I actually have a Jarvis Landry Bears rebuild that should be up tomorrow. I did not know he was going to go to the Browns. I'm still going to upload it because it was a good rebuild. So, yeah. But it sounds like they're giving up a pick this year and a pick next year. And those picks are a 3rd rounder and a 7th. I assume the 3rd rounder is this year and the 7th is next year, but I'm not entirely sure. And I think this is an okay trade for the Dolphins. I don't think they're getting great value. But Jarvis Landry did just get franchise tag, which means the Dolphins are going to have to re-sign him again next year. And meanwhile, the Browns are getting a phenomenal playmaker for Tyrod Taylor or whoever their quarterback is going to be. So I think this is a very good trade for the Browns. They have some more offensive weapons with Duke Johnson, Isaiah Crowell, even though I highly doubt Crowell's going to come back. Obviously, Jarvis Landry, Corey Coleman, David Njoku, who's pretty raw. Seth DeValve. But I think this is a great trade. They also traded a 3rd rounder for Tyrod Taylor. I think this is a great trade. Now, Tyrod Taylor is only going to be there for a year or two, which if you think about it, trading a 3rd round pick for a quarterback is going to be there for a year doesn't make much sense, does it? Well, here's my thinking. The Browns take Saquon at number 1, okay? Take that out of the question. They need to hope Josh Allen falls to 4, because right now I think he's the best quarterback in this draft. They get Allen. Allen waits for a year or two, probably 2 years to be honest. Maybe 1. But Tyrod Taylor is certainly capable of being their quarterback for the next 2 years. And then you put Allen in, rest is history. I think Jarvis Landry can be there for the long term. Tyrod Taylor, I don't think so. But I do think it's a good trade for Cleveland. They could always flip him for a 4th after this year and go with a quarterback they draft, like a Josh Allen or something. So I think this makes a lot of sense. They also traded DeShone Kizer away to the Green Bay Packers for Demarius Randall. Randall's been inconsistent in his career, and I do like him. The Packers don't really know where to play him, and I don't really know where the Browns are going to play him, since they have a very talented secondary. Jason McCourty, Breon Body Calhoun, Jamar Taylor, Jabril Peppers, who didn't have a great rookie year, but he's very versatile, and the Browns don't really know how to use him yet. Derek Kindred. The Browns' secondary is probably their strongest suit, so I don't know where he's going to go. But I think the Browns made some really nice moves getting Jarvis Landry, Tyrod Taylor, and Demarius Randall. I think these moves make a lot of sense, and I expect to see some more moves happen before the NFL offseason officially starts, which I believe is Wednesday? Yes, Saturday's the 10th, Sunday's the 11th. Well, yeah, so Wednesday is the official start of the NFL offseason. That's when free agency and stuff officially starts. That's when these trades are official, even though these trades are like 99% official. But you get the point. I don't really want to talk about too much college basketball because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on in college basketball in the next week. By the way, if you are not in the March Madness contest or giveaway, just say you want in the comments. There will be more details on Sunday. All you need to do now is just say you want in. So, Trae Young and Oklahoma, they had a really good start to the year. I think they were like number 4 at one point, but now they've completely fallen off. I think they're like 18-13. I'm going to try to pull up the record, but they lost in the first round of the Big 12 tournament to Oklahoma State. Their record is 8-10 in conference and 18-13. I think they're 4 and They can't be 4-11 over their last 15 if they lost 10 conference games. That doesn't really make much sense. Anyway, will Oklahoma make the tournament? A lot of people are thinking no, but I think yes. Here's why. The people want to see Trae Young. It's simple as that. I don't think they're going to be super high. I think they'll be like a 10 or 11 seed. I don't think they're going to be like a 13 seed. I think those will be some of the conference champions from some of the not as good conferences. I expect Oklahoma to get an 11 seed. Maybe win the first round, maybe not. We'll see who they're playing. I think they want to have Trae Young in the tournament. Worst case, he goes to the NIT, because if they don't make the tournament, they're definitely going to make the NIT, but who really gives a crap about the NIT? Of course, LeBron James is a free agent this offseason, and with all the turmoil that's been happening for the past season or so, or really ever since LeBron signed with the Cavs, because him and Dan Gilbert aren't best pals, where will LeBron James sign? Now, the four frontrunners, I would say, are Cleveland, the Lakers, the Rockets, and the 76ers. Making a case for Cleveland is because that's where he's been the past 4 years. That's where he's been with the finals every year so far. He's been at the finals. Do I think they're going to make the finals this year? No, I really feel like it's going to be the Celtics. Prayers for Jaylen Brown, by the way. That was a scary injury yesterday. The Rockets, I feel like that would be really interesting. The Rockets are super close to the Warriors now. So if they get LeBron James, the Rockets are better than the Warriors with LeBron James. Chris Paul, James Harden, LeBron James, and Clint Capella. And Eric Gordon. That is scary. That's better than Golden State. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green. Who's next? Jordan Bell, Zaza. Yeah. The Rockets will be better. The Rockets will have one of the greatest teams of all time if they get LeBron. Do I think they're going to get LeBron? There's a chance. The Lakers, because obviously it's Hollywood, Magic Johnson, there have been a lot of LeBron James and Paul George rumors to LA. The Thunder are sort of slipping out of the playoffs. I believe they're the 7th seed now. I don't think LeBron is going to go to the Lakers, but I wouldn't be too surprised. And the last one is the 76ers. There were rumors that LeBron James was looking for schools for his son in a town near Philadelphia. And there were billboards in Cleveland asking him to come to Philadelphia. I feel like my gut's telling me he might join the 76ers. And that makes sense. They're an extremely talented young team. They're probably going to make the playoffs this year. Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Ben and LeBron are close. They've worked out together. They have the same agent. They're very similar players. And I feel like it would make a lot of sense for LeBron to join the city of brotherly love. Probably the most interesting team in the NFL this week has been the Seattle Seahawks. They traded away Michael Bennett to the Philadelphia Eagles for a 5th-round pick and some speedy receiver Marcus Johnson, who I've never heard of in my life before he got traded to the Seahawks. But congratulations, Marcus, for that Super Bowl ring. Don't know who you are. The Eagles also got a 7th-round pick. Now, the Eagles don't have a lot of cap space. They did trade away Torrey Smith for Darryl Worley from the Panthers. Don't know what the Panthers are doing because their cornerbacks are horrendous. And Darryl Worley was a 23-year-old and he was a starter, so I don't really know what they're doing. But the Eagles don't have a lot of money. They're probably going to cut Vinny Curry. They're probably going to let some other players go, like LeGarrette Blount, Nigel Bradham, maybe Jason Peters. But the Seattle Seahawks, they traded away Michael Bennett. They have many young players on their defensive line. Frank Clark, Malik McDowell, he comes back this year. Jerron Reed, Sheldon Richardson's a free agent, I think. So the Seahawks have a lot of talent on their defensive line. I also expect them to trade Cliff Averill, former Lion. So the Seahawks, I think they have a good future in their D-line, and they also cut Richard Sherman today. I find it really crazy that Richard Sherman will probably not be on the Seahawks. I just hope he does not go to Green Bay, please, please. They traded away Randall. They have, no corners. Quentin Rollins, they're playing safeties at corner. They're going to let Morgan Burnett go. They don't know what they're doing in their secondary. So Richard Sherman of the Packers makes perfect sense. I don't want that to happen. I really don't. We already have to play Xavier Rhodes. And look at the Bears. If they get Allen Robinson or even Cameron Meredith, who they already have, they have to play Richard Sherman twice a year if the Packers get him, Xavier Rhodes, and Darius Slay. But I feel like the Seahawks should have kept him and traded him. They could have gotten maybe a 3rd-round pick for him, which I think is pretty reasonable, 3rd or 4th-round pick. Now, why are the Seahawks reloading or rebuilding? I think they're a pretty good team. They have Russell Wilson, but I guess they don't. I think their core is starting to age. Cam Chancellor could be on his way out. Earl Thomas maybe, but I kind of doubt seeing Earl Thomas go. And this situation reminds me a lot of Green Bay. They won a Super Bowl pretty young to Aaron Rodgers' career. Seahawks won a Super Bowl pretty young in Russell Wilson's career. Russell Wilson was like his second year, so he was younger than Rodgers. And now they're good. They keep playing good. They mess with the playoffs every once in a while. The Seahawks missed the playoffs for the first time this year since, I think, the Super Bowl run. And I feel like they're literally... just look at the Seahawks and Packers. The Packers are really good simply because of Aaron Rodgers. The Seahawks were really good because of Russell Wilson and their defense. Now that they're losing Michael Bennett, Richard Sherman, maybe Cam Chancellor, they're really good because of Russell Wilson. It's the exact same scenario. Just I feel like the Seahawks are a little worse and their division is better. Like the Vikings the past 10 years have been okay. They almost made the Super Bowl. The Bears, I mean, they made the conference championship one year. They lost to the Packers. The Lions haven't won a playoff game. Been the definition of average past 10 years. We did go 0-16. Please don't remind me of that. But looking at the NFC West, the Cardinals have a lot of talent. The Niners have Jimmy G. And the Rams are fucking loaded. So the Seahawks are in a really interesting position. And I like what they're doing. But I think they could have gotten value for Richard Sherman. So this will be the last segment about college basketball until Selection Sunday when I have my predictions for the bracket. Who will be the 1 seeds? Virginia's a given, so we're not even going to talk about them. They're a 1 seed, obviously. I think Villanova or Xavier, whoever wins the Big East, I think one of them will be the 1 seed. If Kansas wins the Big 12, I think there's a good chance they'll be the 1 seed. And if Duke wins the ACC, I think they'll be the 1 seed, which they'll have to get by Virginia. Maybe Michigan has a chance of being a 1 seed. Maybe Michigan State has a chance of being a 1 seed. My picks right now are Virginia. I'm going to say Nova or Xavier. I'll say Xavier. Kansas. And I'll go with the Dukies. Don't like Duke, but I'm going to pick them to be a 1 seed. Talked about an impending free agent by the name of LeBron James earlier, and now we have another one by the name of Kirk Cousins. And we will find his landing spot much sooner than LeBron James. So the 4 teams rumored to get him are the Broncos, the Jets, the Vikings, and the Cardinals, with the 2 teams with the best chances are the Vikings and the Jets. I think the Broncos make the most sense, and I feel like the Cardinals will be really interesting. I think the Jets are going to offer the most money, but I think the Vikings have the best roster. So honestly, it's a toss-up. I think Arizona could really make a lot of sense for Kirk Cousins. Denver and Minnesota are phenomenal, and the Jets are going to blow him away with money. I don't think the Jets should go after him. I think a team like the Broncos should. I think the Vikings should go with Teddy Bridgewater. Cardinals should trade up with like Indy and draft a quarterback. The Jets should maybe draft a quarterback. And the Broncos should sign Kirk Cousins. I think that makes sense. I don't love the quarterbacks in this draft class, so maybe wait till next year. Maybe Justin Herbert, go Ducks. But right now, I feel like he's going to go to the Jets. And the Jets will not be a playoff team if they get Kirk Cousins. Their roster is horrible. 6-10 with Kirk Cousins. Yesterday, the Minnesota Timberwolves, or should I say the Minnesota Timberwolves, signed Derrick Rose. They get another player from those early 2010 Bulls, Jimmy Butler, Taj Gibson, Derrick Rose, Coach Tom Thibodeau. And I think this makes a lot of sense. Obviously, Derrick Rose knows Coach Thibodeau. The Timberwolves don't have Jimmy Butler for a little bit, so they're in an interesting spot. I don't know if this makes most sense for Derrick Rose's health, as Tom Thibodeau, he plays his players a lot of minutes. So, obviously, injuries could very well happen. And I don't know if this makes most sense for his body, but I think the fit does make a lot of sense. And I think it'll be really interesting to see how the Timberwolves do with all these Timber Bulls. The Rockets, Blazers, Pelicans, and even the Warriors have been on fire lately. The Rockets have won 17 straight. The Warriors have won 7 straight. The Blazers have won 8 straight. And the Pelicans have won 10 straight. The Pelicans have been great ever since DeMarcus Cousins got hurt. That is really weird and fishy. So we'll have to see what's going on. Anthony Davis has put himself in the MVP conversation with James Harden and LeBron James. And you could even make a case for Damian Lillard, too, as the Blazers are the 3 seed and the Pelicans are the 4 seed. Do I expect this to continue? No, because the Thunder, Timberwolves, and Spurs all have better rosters. The Pelicans don't have a great roster, and neither do the Blazers. Well, they have good rosters. They're certainly playoff teams, but, not as high as some of those other teams. And the Rockets, are they better than the Warriors? No. But I think the Rockets aren't as far away from the Warriors as people think. And if the Rockets make the finals, I don't know if it'll be that surprising. Obviously, I think the Warriors will, but the Rockets certainly have a chance. That's going to end the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Tomorrow I will upload a Jarvis Landry rebuild and probably Chargers, maybe Illinois. We'll see. Peace.